our attention on United now. And we're going to start at the back with the defence. Rio, of course, is going to miss probably the first month of the season, I think. So there's going to have to be a new partner for Nemanja Vidic for the start of the season. Who do you boys reckon should be the man?
Well, I think I'd like to see Chris Smalling go alongside Vidic. I think we've seen in pre-season that he's quite good in the air and he can certainly tackle. But I don't think Fergie will do that just because he's so young. So I think he'll either go with John O'Shea or Johnny Evans. Obviously, is still there. So Johnny Evans will probably start there, but there's other options. There's O'Shea, and even Gary Neville can do a job there. Fergie seems to think.
I think we might be in a bit of trouble if we're playing Gary Neville at centre back there.
I'd really like to see Johnny Evans given a run of games at centre back. See how him and Vidic go together for an extended period, especially with Rio sort of very injury prone. It seems like maybe just give him as much time as he needs to get over his injuries and come back strong, because we saw last season that playing him injured, he's not the player that he is without injuries, obviously.
Yeah, I have to agree with you, Miles. I'd play Johnny Evans as well, and I think he will actually be the man to play alongside Nemanja Vidic. The other player who hasn't been mentioned, Wes Brown. I think I rate him highly. I'd say he's next in line of the players I'd want to be playing there. Smalling, I don't really know about him yet. Haven't seen enough of him. Haven't been overly impressed by him so far by his work. He doesn't seem to be that good on the ball, which is where Johnny Evans really excels over him. I think he's very good coming out of defence and passing it, and I think Smalling just needs to adjust that side of his game as he spends a bit longer at United and get away from just hoofing it up the pitch as he tends to do a bit now. Okay, now to right back. It's a real problem area for United, I think we'll all agree. And I don't think any of us are really totally sure who's the number one choice for Fergie at the moment at right back. But firstly, who do you think will play at right back? And secondly, who do you think should play at right back?
I think he'll give a lot more time to Raphael. I think he sees him as the future, and if he's not sure between him and say O'Shea or Brown, then he's maybe going to opt for the younger option and get the experience into him. But my preferred option is Wes Brown. I think he adds just a bit more solidness to our defence. So.
Yeah, for me, I'd like to see Raphael given more games this year. From what I saw him last year, he impressed, and he's quite as good as he is defensively. He also gets forward as well and helps the attack, which I think is quite important. And he scored a great goal against Arsenal last year. So that just proves again that he's got that quality to finish. I think the job, if he's fit, Wes Brown will get the job, like he said. He does add that stability and there's a real presence back there. So I think he'll start.
Yeah, I rate Wes quite highly. I like him a lot. I think he's good in defence. Of course, he's probably a natural centre back, but he's also pretty underrated in going forward. He puts in decent balls into the box and really adds to the numbers up there. So I'd like to see Wes be first choice. Raphael, of course, I'd like to see get a fair few games, but I don't know about playing him in the big games because he still tends to be he's a bit inexperienced and he tends to make a few mistakes and have a few brain freezes from time to time. So I think in the cup games and against the weaker opposition, when we would really need that extra attacking impetus from right back, he should play. But I think Wes Brown should be first choice. But I think Fergie may well go with John O'Shea at the start of the season. He seems to be a player that he likes a lot, and I think he may be first choice. Okay, now Tom Cleverley is not one of the youngsters who's going out on loan. There's a few who are leaving United, such as Mame Diouf, Danny Welbeck, Josh King, all going out on loan. Tom Cleverley was rumoured to be going out on loan. There was a lot of Premier League clubs after him, like Newcastle, Bolton and Blackpool, but Fergie said that he's staying for this season, and he's come out with some glowing comments in the press. Says that he may be the answer to United's midfield goal scoring woes. What do you guys think Tom's role will be at the club this season. How many games are you going to expect him to play, and how do you rate him?
Well, I haven't really seen much of him, but I've read a lot about him in the past month or so, and and especially about his time on loan last year, and he's attracting some really great great comments about his displays, and there's a lot of praise out there for him. So he might have a bit of an opportunity at the start of this season with Anderson, Carrick, Hargreaves still out. I mean, we've probably got lots of players in midfield, but few injuries, and I hope to see him out there in a few games, even if it's just against the weaker teams. And
so he's obviously got something there if Fergie's not letting him go out on loan. So yeah, like what you said, I think he'll play the odd game here or there, probably feature more often than not in the cup. So yeah, hopefully he learns from that, and he's obviously got quality midfielders around him to help him out and pass on their knowledge, so I'm sure he'll be fine.
Yeah, I've watched the pre-season friendly so far, and he's been really impressive so far. He can play all across the midfield. He can play on the left, on the right, or through the centre as an attacking option. He's been very impressive with his touches on the ball, his passing, and his eye for goal. He could be used as an option off the bench in a lot of games if we need a goal. I think we can chuck him on, and he tends to be a player who can bob up, a bit like Kiko Makeda, who can really bob up in the important moments and grab a goal when you really need one. So I think he's a very exciting player, and of course cup games, I think he'll play in most of them, and off the bench in the Premier League he's going to be a real threat, so he's really a great one to watch for the future. Okay, next up is Javier Hernandez, who's been so impressive during pre-season and also at the World Cup for Mexico. Seems like a very astute piece of business by Fergie to have picked him up before the World Cup. But where is he in the pecking order for this season? You guys, what do you think?
I'm hoping to see him third choice. I think obviously Rooney's first choice. If we're going to play two strikers, then I think Berbatov, who I really hope has a great season this season. But I think Hernandez is probably just ahead of Owen, maybe because the youth side of him as well. And I think he'll obviously learn a lot from training with great players like Owen, who that instinct. But he could be maybe a Solskjaer role type thing, coming off the bench as an impact player, because he certainly has an eye for goal.
Yeah, that's for sure. Will, what do you think?
Yeah, he obviously can find the net. He's hit the back of the net every time, like you said, every time he's gone onto the field, either for United or for Chivas against United last time. But yeah, he seems to be one of those players that can get a goal out of nothing, and I think that's going to be important to United because sometimes we need that. And yeah, I think he'll probably be fourth choice striker. I don't think he'll be ahead of Owen. I disagree with you on that one, Miles, but I think he's still got a bit to learn. Like, he's only young.
Yeah, I think he should be third choice. I agree with Miles actually. I think Owen is obviously not as old as you think, as his brochure like to point out, but he is getting on a bit, and I don't think he's the player he once was. And I think Hernandez is a fantastic talent. Miles, of course, you're firmly on the bandwagon already.
He's developed a bit of a cult following, and jumped on the bandwagon. Bought a shirt off eBay the other day. So last time I logged on there though, the seller had disappeared and got rid of his account. So fingers crossed that shows up. But if not, I'll have to go searching for another one. But yeah, up there with favourite players already.
Cult hero already, and of course the Mexican fan base is fantastic at United, and there's a massive crowd for the Chivas game, so it's really a market that is being tapped into.
I had a big smirk on my face when he said Chicharito.
Okay, I won't say that this time.
No, do it.
Just don't say Chicharito.
Next on the agenda is Javier Chicharito Hernandez, the young Mexican striker.